Okay, so we've got all the spiel out of the way. Does anyone have any questions that they need to ask me before we get going? Stick your hand up. No, you good? Okay, Lee, so if you keep it to, I feel my voice going. So it's now 7:39. So we want to be definitely done by 9 o'clock, probably by about 10 to, okay? Yeah. Okay, so you all know me. I'll catch you later. Can you hear me okay? Is the volume okay as far as you're concerned? Excellent, right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, good evening, my dear friends, and welcome. Welcome to what can be described as a celebration of friendship coming together in support of those from the spirit world, but also those that are on a journey of discovering our spirituality and our mediumship and unleashing some of the potential within us all. It is a gathering of friends. It is a movement. It is a movement of people who are understanding their true spiritual nature. You are not the weird ones, as the boy would have you believe. What you are embracing is your true spiritual nature, communion of spirit to spirit, coming together, embracing friendship and love. Never forget that love is why we are here with you. We do not seek for you to be just a medium. We seek for you to be a more kind and loving person. That is what we want from you. Now, all of you know that when you do something kind, when you give something to someone, and your motivation is unconditional love, it makes you feel good, doesn't it? It makes you feel good. As you are coming up to a time of celebration, at Christmas time, you rack your brains for ideas of presents for people, a gift, a token of love. And you know, in that moment, when you give a present to someone, you are anticipating, you are looking for their reaction. And when a smile comes across their face, when they are overjoyed, hopefully, with your gift, you know that your heart is filled with joy. Because what you did was give unconditionally. You want to bring happiness to those that you love. And we may use the same analogy for why we are with you. We seek to bring not only understanding in building a relationship with us, entering into the sacred communion of spirit. We seek to bring happiness to you. If you never stepped foot upon a church, if you never gave a reading to people, we would not care. What we seek is your happiness, your understanding that we are with you for every step of your journey. Long before you became aware of who we were, we knew you. We seek you. We know you.
Okay. Now, as we enter into this journey of understanding, of friendship, camaraderie, we are seeking people that are willing to be brave, warriors of a time and a place that causes you many reasons to doubt. You look at the media, and it does not give you too much to be happy about. And on the face of it, it would seem that the world is not such a good place. But is what you see on the television or on your computer screen, is that really the truth of what we see out there? Or is really the world a better place than we would give it credit for? Because are you not part of the world? Do you not make a difference to people? And do you not matter to those that live with you? We seek people that are willing to walk close to the edge, that are willing to say, I do not agree with you. What I see in the world is troubles, but I also see goodness. I see people that will cross the road to help someone. I see people that will listen to someone that has an issue. I see people that will care for their friends who are suffering from medical issues, whose hearts are maybe broken. I see people that are doing everything that they can to raise their children right. And of course they make mistakes, but you are only human. If you are perfect, you would be where we are. And even then, you would realize that we are not some omniscient being that has never made a mistake. We are like you. Yet we walk without the physical form. We are fallible. We make mistakes. You are our teachers. You are our guides. You may ask yourself, why does a guide wish to work with a medium? The question is, why not? if this journey that we call life, both in the spiritual sense and in the physical sense, if all the questions had have been answered, what would be the point in us being here? Why would we be here? Life is a challenge, my friends. Life presents you problems. And you may say, what sort of God would give me a life where I struggled? Well, I would ask you this question. Do you not think that your troubles have not been the greatest teachers within your life? Has toil not taught you more than laziness? Has the opportunity to contemplate why things happen not been a greater teacher than sitting back in ignorance? I would challenge you and say that it has been. What you must remember, my friends, is you are an actor in a film that is called your life. You are performing a function and a role. You are a mother, a father, a friend and a sister, a lover or a partner. The role that you have is teaching you something about yourself, and yet you are learning through every day. For those of you that have little ones, are they not a great teacher also? They teach you about patience. They teach you about being intuitive in knowing what they need when they cannot speak for themselves. They expose weaknesses within your own character because they will challenge you. Lord knows a child will challenge you. When you have performed your role, when your character has come to an end, and when the film that is called your life has finished, all that you have learned is received by your soul. All that you know is brought back to the group that work with you. In essence, we are harvesting your experiences through your toil, through the troubles that you have gone through. We are learning the wisdom of the human experience with all of its errors, all of its faults. I hope I have in some way explained a little about why we work with you. But let us, my dear friends, come together and let us see if there are questions that can be answered. Now, my dear friend Lisa, what a brave woman you are putting up with this boy. What patience you have. Maybe his greatest guide is the woman that sits next to him. He may think that he is wise, but maybe she is wiser or more foolish, for she has chosen to marry him. Maybe there is a great lesson to her by performing this function in his life. So are you willing, my friend, to bring questions?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. No one's got their hand up.
Well, it could be a short evening if you don't have questions, my friend. We have people getting jumpy in the background.
Oh, yeah, Linda. Unmute. Oh, she's done it.
Evening.
Good evening, my friend.
My question is related to those that have worked with spirit when they have lived on earth, when they pass back home, are they able to then become a guide, or would it be a helper from your side of life?
Well, let me ask you this question. What makes someone a guide? What use do they have?
Well, I think of them as teachers to help me through my experiences here.
Yeah. Now, let me say, if the person was living their physical life and they were a particularly helpful fellow, if they had something about them that was uplifting, that was informative, if they cared for you, if love was their motivation, my dear friend, do you think that they would make a good guide?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think the answer is?
They could be, if that's what their path is.
You know, there is part of a journey that is concerned with you and your development, but it also has to be their choice. Do they wish to continue their life with you? And the answer is, in many cases, yes, they do. Now, whether they are willing or able to entrance you so that you may hear their presence talking, well, that is a choice for them, but they can still be part of your life. And so as this boy here, he knows that his grandfather, he is very much part of his team. And he stands with us this evening. There is a great deal of love and pride that sits within his chest and his heart. So you see, he guides him, because what is the ultimate sacrifice that he has made to be with him? What has happened to him?
I'm not quite sure. I don't quite understand the question.
He has passed to the spirit world, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So the sacrifice is that the physical existence is no longer there. But would the grandfather still have love for his grandson?
Yes.
And so do you think that if he had the opportunity, and it is not a given that he would wish to, but in this case, the grandfather wishes to help the boy with his journey of mediumistic development. He is about keeping him safe. He is about looking at his journey, discovering the man that he now is, and not the boy that he once knew. You see, the grandfather has moved on in his understanding. He is a different person than he was. In many ways, he was flawed, but he sees the error of his ways and he wishes to continue a relationship that was not present when he was here. So there is a need and a willingness. And so it does come up to the grandfather in this case about how he wants to continue to have a relationship with his grandson. Ultimately, it is the person's choice. But quite possibly, my friend, do you not think that those that you love do not still watch for you or wish to guide you and encourage you in a direction that will make you grow?
Yes. But
Do I make sense?
Oh, yes, that totally makes sense. I think I was analysing too much what a guide and helper is.
Yeah.
And it's been very clear. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It is a good question, because what is to say that many people are not wondering the same thing? You know, it is a natural part of human nature. Fundamentally, when we die, well, we don't die really, do we? But when we pass to the world of spirit, what changes is only that our physical form has failed us. It has expired. It is no longer able to carry the spirit within it. But do you think that that love dies at that same moment?
No.
No. My friend, there is nothing that bonds us all together greater than the power of love?
Yes.
Good question.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. I bet they have questions after it is finished.
Oh, Michelle?
Hello, and I want to thank you for coming and joining us today. I really appreciate your presence.
Thank
My
you.
my question is, sitting for trance, do you recommend having a teacher, a human teacher, or do you think that somebody, I know some people have developed trance on their own, but do you recommend teachers, or do you feel that it's just sitting on your own is more important than, what's your recommendation?
Okay. No, you are not wrong in saying that to sit with someone is a good idea. From the sense of a spiritual guide can absolutely teach you. But sometimes, isn't it good to have someone to share with you their experiences through their own practical experience of working with it? Sometimes, you need someone to say to you, I have made this mistake. And what I would like you to do is to avoid making my mistake. And so what they do is through your experience, through their experience, they help you to avoid it. So a spiritual teacher and a human teacher can work in unison. But there is also a but. When you enter into a relationship with anyone, you have to ask yourself, how do I feel about that person? Not everyone has an understanding that would benefit you. This boy would not necessarily be your best teacher. He will have a philosophy and values and experience based upon his understanding, and that may not resonate with you, in which case he is not your teacher. Your spirit friends will absolutely be on the journey with you. So you ask yourself, how do I feel about that person? Is what he is saying resonating with me? Is it improving my understanding? Am I building a connection to those that I work with that is enhancing what I already know? If it is not good for you. If it is, then I say you continue. You will understand there will be a knowing, my friend, a knowing of what feels right to you. But the shortcut does not exist. There is no teacher who can click his or her fingers and say, voila, you are now a most wise trance medium. Only the experience of failure and success and failure and more success can bring you to an understanding that will make you feel like you understand, that you know what it is that you are doing. Trial and error, my friend, trial and error. Find the teacher that resonates and all shall be well. For a while, then your understanding may well continue to shift as you grow as a person and a medium. You do not stay the same. Just as you look up to the skies, each day presents a different picture. This is the nature of you, who you are as a medium and as a person. You will change and adapt to new surroundings. We say embrace them all, love what you love, and pass by what does not feel right to you. Does that answer your question, my friend?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
It is a good question, isn't it? There are many people now thinking the same thing. Well, I wonder whether I need a teacher. He's available for hire, you know. Okay. Now, who has
Thank
a
you.
question?
Oh, Kevin.
Good evening, my friend.
Good
Uh,
evening, Brother Bear.
Thank you. My question is, when you come to work through the medium, you bring the essence of your past life through. Is that correct?
Yes.
So when you finished working with your medium, do you continue with that essence when you go back to the spirit world, or is it a different energy that you go into?
But do you mean the personality that you're speaking to?
Yes. When you return to the spirit world after you finished with your medium, does your personality stay the same, or do you change?
The personality does not represent the whole soul, does it?
No.
So there are many tentacles, as our brother Stephen has explained, and Arthur. So the tentacles of the anemone represent the personalities that speak, but the anemone itself is the soul. So there are many expressions of the personalities that speak through the medium. And when the medium has passed, or when you no longer work through them, the personality returns to the soul itself. So we're going back home and we're seeing expression through other mediums. And there are other personalities that work. Does that make sense or not?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you very sure?
Well, yeah. No, I'm not sure.
No.
I think the question, because when you return to the other side, whatever you want to call it, when you go back to your spirit self, my understanding then of what you said is you go back to your soul, and your soul has many energies. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I understand that.
So if you imagine, my friend, let us go back to the film and the actor analogy. Let us say that there is a soul. Let us say you are an orange with 100 segments. Now that would be a very big orange, but just bear with me. Now, let us say that one of the segments of that orange says, I want to be an actor and I'm going to be called Kevin. And I'm going to be a jolly chap and I'm going to live my life and learn things and come back a much wiser person. And at the same time, another segment comes along and says, I wish to be Andrea and I'm going to be a lady and I'm going to live in Germany. You both express life and understand life in your own way, but you could return to the same soul. Do you see what I mean? So many different expressions are able to be had. One soul can express themselves in many ways. So you can be an actor in your own movie, come back and be a different actor in a different movie. Does that explain it better, my friend?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm fine with that. Thank you.
Yes, good question. Who would come back to be me? Yeah. What you have to remember also, my friend, is that time only exists for you.
Yes.
So when we say we are coming back, in essence, we are having different experiences at the same time. So
Okay.
the soul
Oh,
has
that
many
makes sense.
different, the soul has many different opportunities to express itself as a man or a woman, as black or white, as gay or straight. It can have that experience at the same time in many different places. Only you are constricted by the element of time. What is time for you is eternal for us. So we are having these experiences at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good question. Yeah.
Oh, who's that? Annette.
Good evening.
Good evening, my friend. Good evening.
I've got a question which my friend has sent. She was going to join tonight, my friend Kaylee, and she isn't able to join, but it's a lovely question and relevant to me as well. So she would like to ask if children and young adults are struggling more with mental health conditions. And she wants to ask, is the reason why because they are on a spiritual journey and they're realizing it earlier, so they're struggling with their emotions and mental health? And if so, how can we help them better progress? I know she's going through a journey like this, and I've been through a similar one as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so there are a few points to acknowledge here. Now, the journey that children are undergoing, in many ways, is one of discovering who they are, one of finding where is the place that they fit within the world they find themselves in. Now, in many ways, nothing has changed. A child is always looking for its place. It is looking to understand how it fits within its family and in its environment and in the country that it finds itself in. So that is one point. But what we have to say is, has life changed? Are they more precious upon children nowadays? And the answer is sadly yes. Really, if you ask yourself this question, can a child truly be a child now? Does a child have the pressure of social, which we think is anti-social media? It is not very social if people are criticizing and generally being unpleasant to each other. That is anti-social media. There is an expectation to perform. You are analyzed. You are critiqued. You are studied and tested. You are told to be a certain way. Well, what about being normal? What about embracing who you are? You know, as I sit here and I look at you, none of you are the same. And yet children are forced into being something that they really are not. What about the artists that want to live in their head? What about the writers who want to be creative? What about the children that want to engineer things to make the world a better place? What about the doctors of the future that are within children and their potential? What about those that speak to spirits? What about all of the different people that are finding their place in the earth? You know, what we seek is people to be themselves. But unfortunately, people want to tell you how to be. They want to say to you, you are not normal, you should be like this, that, or the other. And it makes us sad to see it. We want people to be happy. If you are happy living on the streets, then so be it. If you're happy singing songs at the top of your voice, then so be it. If you want to love someone of the same sex, then so be it. Does it not really matter anymore? That our primary concern should be, are those children loved? What are we doing to love them and to support them and nurture them? And for those of you that are parents, you will know that your love for them knows no ends. It does not have an end. There is not a limit to it. If you wish to be weird, as the boy would say, then you be weird if it makes you happy. What will you say to the children? You can shield them to a degree. And as much as being a parent would say to you, I want to protect my child from all the obstacles that would face it. Really, you cannot do it. It is not good for their development and their progress. They too must learn to live in the world that they find themselves in. They must learn to cope with the support of their family, to accept the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, to quote Mr. Shakespeare. You must be there to support them when they make a mistake, but let them make a mistake. Allow them to express themselves. As we have said before, they too are actors on a journey. Children become adults. Allow them to be an adult. Allow them to learn, to become who they need to be. Be there to support them when they need you, but allow them the freedom to be who they need to be. Does that answer your question, my friend?
It does, thank you.
You know, we don't like to see the pressure that children are under, but we must recognize that times have changed. When I was a boy, all we knew was nature. Mother Nature was my teacher. As I watched the seasons pass by, I learned when things grew. I learned where to look. I learned what was good to eat and when it was ready. My brothers and sisters were also of the four-legged. Nature can be our greatest teacher. It allows us to feel who we really are, which is an expression of the divine, of God, or whoever you believe in. When we see the pressure that you are under, the pressure to be a good parent, the pressure to be a good wife or a good husband, acknowledge that you are not perfect. Acknowledge that you will make mistakes. And if you fall, we just ask that someone is there to support you when you do. Life used to be simple. And while we may look with rose-tinted eyes at what used to be, we have to face up to the reality of what we now have. We would counsel you to restrict the amount of influence from negative influences that you have. The world has changed. The truth is not something that you can hear anymore. The truth is something that is felt. You discover the truth through listening to your heart. Now, you may think that you listen through your ears. But if I said something to you now, if you are listening to the words that I share and they do not sound right to you, then you ignore them. You judge it by the feeling, as we have said many times before. The world has changed, and you must change with it. But you do not have to be a slave to it. You are not governed by other people in the way that you think you are. The government is only in place by virtue of the people that put them there. If you rise in rebellion, they will fall. There is no empire in man's history that has ever outlived humanity itself. Whether it be for 100 or 1,000 years, mankind will always make the decision. A government is temporary, mankind can be permanent. You can make the decisions. You can say yes or no. The choice
really is yours. Now, do we have more questions, my dear?
Thank you.
Have we provoked some thought, or have I offended them?
Oh, hang on, Michelle. Oh, yeah, Michelle.
Hi, well, I'm just interrupted here. Sorry. This is a question I had. You hear many times that people are trancing ascended masters, angelic realms. But I would think that the vibrational frequency of these, I wouldn't call them individuals, but spirits, would be very intense to kind of trance. I mean, I've had an experience many years ago when I first started out of some, I don't know, some guide or something came to me, and the vibrational frequency was so high, I couldn't even hold it for more than 2 seconds. And in that 2 seconds, it was all this bliss and love and everything that I felt, but there was no way that frequency would I be able to hold it. So how does an ascended master, I know they can lower their frequency, but how does it happen like a true angelic realm that has not been born as a human? How can they trance through an individual human that has a lower vibrational frequency? I don't know.
No, it's a very good question. And the simple answer is that those that guide you, that are of a higher vibration, can act as a transformer. So imagine the analogy that the power that leaves a power station is many tens of thousands or millions of volts, is it not? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now it goes to a series of transformers to bring the power to a level that is acceptable for the home in which it finally finds itself in. So what happens is there is a sequence of guides that are able to assimilate a higher vibration, and they can transfer it to another guide and to another guide until it is of a level that you are able to tolerate. So there is trial and error. What we are finding is, what speed do you vibrate at? And then we have to decrease it until it is compatible with you. So you could say that you connect to them by proxy, but you don't necessarily connect directly to them. So let us say that you are at one end of the chain, and there are 10 links of the chain. And at the other end is this ascended master, which is very much a man. It's like a mankind's description. It is giving a hierarchy, but ultimately what you are talking about is someone of an incredibly loving vibration, wishes to influence you. And how do they do that? The answer is they will be at the other end of the chain. And as each link passes from one to another, that vibration decreases until you can tolerate it. As you go through your spiritual growth and your understanding improves, your vibration increases, then we can knock a link out of the chain because you become closer. And at some point in the future, who knows, maybe you will ascend to become a master, and there will just be you and them together. How does that grab you?
Yeah, it's just that I hear so many people like trancing, ascended masters, and
Wow.
I find it interesting, that they just throw it around so loosely, when I
Now,
think that it's a special
yes.
special bond.
Now,
So
the question I would say to you, how much of the ascended master is involved in the communication? And you can judge it by the words that are felt. Again, I come back to this point. You will feel whether this master feels ascended I would question the validity of it. And I would say, do they have a wish for it to be an ascended master? Will it somehow take them to a position of greater authority over their audience by saying, well, I have someone that is very, very wise that works through me, and they wish to say something very, very wise. And of course, we all sit like little children, looking up into their eyes and gazing most wonderfully. But if it does not feel that there is a real essence of love flowing through them, and there is no reason why it cannot, then I would question whether this person really has this ascended master. There is a great deal of ego. There is a great deal of, I am taller than you are. My guide's bigger than your guide. And really, we have to question the nature of why they do what they do. And that is felt. You know it is true because you feel it to be so. And I would also hazard a guess that the question has not come to your mind because it sits comfortably with you. You have questioned it yourself when you have experienced it, and you are asking our opinion. And our opinion is maybe there is a part of them that is involved, but maybe the greater part is the medium themselves. Does that make sense, my friend?
Yes, and would you consider yourself a collection of thoughts as well when you come through, as opposed to your individual self?
Yes.
Like
okay, so it is like I am a spokesman for a group. I am literally providing a voice, but the opinions are many. As the thoughts are shared and they come through the mind of the medium, you know that the medium is involved. You know that I am involved, I am exerting an influence over him. Those that work with me, that are connected with me, that are part of that little chain that I spoke about, we are all part of it. The information is flowing like a river, and it goes into this murky puddle. That is the boy. And when it comes out, it is not as clean as it once was, because his mind is not as pure as ours is, and ours is not as pure as those that work to a higher vibration. But we are all part of the communication, my friend.
Okay.
Have I answered your question satisfactorily?
Yes, you have.
Good.
Thank you.
What a
I hope it
wonderful
wasn't too
question.
difficult. Thank you.
No, we enjoy good questions.
Gabrielle had a hand up before.
Yes.
Gabrielle, have you still got a question?
Yeah, hi. And, I have to say, I can really feel you and I appreciate that. I can feel that wisdom and it touches me. I wanted to say that, the reason that I'm aware of, or reasons to join this, this journey in my life, one big overwhelming one in the last 2 years was fear of death. That I felt that I need to clean my slate before I leave here, whenever that time is. And another part was experiences of those that had passed over that were very lifelike and real when I experienced them.
Yeah.
So I have found my fear of death has lessened over time. And from my conscious reason, my reason in my head for coming to this over time has shifted. And my understanding of what actually is happening is that connection is also shifting. And I also come to accept that maybe in this lifetime, I have to work maybe more than one lifetime on this. And in a way, it doesn't matter. So any words of wisdom that you have that can, just help me shift into some, I don't even know what, but any words of wisdom that you have, I would appreciate it.
Good. Now, first of all, the fact that you are on the journey at all, that you are experiencing life, is a blessing. Now, you say that you are on a voyage of discovery, and part of it was the fear of death. But what if there was no death? What if when you leave the form that you are in, you find that life has not ended for you? You have shed the coat of the physical form, but you are really all that you were. This spiritual form is undergoing a physical experience, and you may find that life is troubling to you. You know, it is difficult when things start to go wrong, both emotionally, physically, and spiritually. The journey is one of discovery and unfoldment. It is of reflection of who you used to be and who you are now. What we can say to you, my dear friend, there is no judgment. You know, one of the biggest things that holds back the personalities that cross over into the spirit world is the fear that there is someone standing there with a mighty staff and he says, oh, I need to judge you. I need to decide whether you're a good or a bad person, whether you're coming to the kingdom of heaven or you go to the fires of hell. Let me tell you that neither exist. You judge yourself. You reflect upon everything that you have ever said and done. You look at who you were, and it gives you the opportunity for change. You can come and back and you can try this journey once more. And I can guarantee you, you will fail in some way. But isn't the fact that you tried in the first place what it is all about? It is about experiencing life. It is about giving love. It is about receiving love. It is about understanding that you may be frail, but you are trying your best. Do you understand what I'm saying, my friend?
Yes, and you know, and as my as my understanding grows little by little, that there is no death. That's why my fear lessens, because I start to, you know, sense and feel, yes, there's a continuation of life, and that gives me a lot of comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just gives me a lot of comfort. It's just, you know, I thought, oh my God, this is going to go so much faster, you know, than it actually does. And yeah, to just adjust, you know, adjust just shift into more understanding. I mean, I'm grateful for that. And at times I feel like, oh, this is just not for me. What am I thinking? No, I do understand. Yeah.
You know, the fear of death is crippling. If we could say to you, do one thing to help your fellow man, you have to be receptive to the fact that life goes on. If it doesn't go on, then who am I? Who is this man that speaks through the boy? Where is this voice coming from? Is it just a figment of his imagination? Is he deluding himself? Are you feeling an energy truly? What is happening?
Yeah.
No. If you say to people, life is eternal, well, they say, well, we know we must be good people, and then we rise to the kingdom of heaven, or whatever religious doctrine you have been led to believe. Ultimately, you return to the presence of love. Let love be your religion. Let your prayers be said with love. Let your actions be motivated by love. And when you return to love, it won't seem like such a strange place. You are going into this journey. You are learning something about yourself. Do it in a loving way. That is what we would say to you.
Okay.
And when those that come back to you and say, hey, it wasn't what I thought it was. It turns out I didn't die after all. Can you think how we would alleviate so much fear, so much pain? The expression by pain of death. What about all of those that we live with who think that when their physical body expires, that is the end? What a cruel fate. You have 70, 80, 90, 100 years, and then you die, and that is it. What would be the point? A finite existence does not make sense. What makes sense is that you have multiple opportunities to grow, to elevate your thinking, to become a better person today than you were yesterday, and yet not as good as you can be tomorrow. That is the journey.
Yeah. It's, believing is one thing, but I need to know. And I'm starting to slowly know. And listening to you, it helps me because I can feel the truth of it. And I like that truth and that knowing to seep into my being. So I can, I can grow. I can understand more.
Yes, and you used the great word there. You feel it.
Yeah.
If you wish to believe, then read the Bible. That will tell you what to believe. Or read whatever religious text makes sense to you. That is based upon belief. Now, we are not saying there is no truth in it. What we are saying is life is your experience, not mine. I cannot tell you what the truth is. You experience it for yourself. That is why you are here. That is the fundamental reason for you being here. And while you are here, you have children, you have grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and then you join me. Now, you do the best you can. You experience spiritual growth or life or none of the above. You can just muddle through if you wish. It doesn't matter. You come to your own realizations. Life is literally what you make it. What you say, what you do, and what you think will guide your life. But you have to be receptive to change.
Yeah. Understood. Understood. Yeah.
Lots to think about, my friend.
Lots to think and feel, thank God there is something that's just a longing inside of me that is what truly guides me in life,
Yes.
So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to be here and, communicate with you. That is very precious. Thank you.
Yes. Now you have to understand, as we just elaborate a little more. In essence, your spirituality, what truly makes you, is like a light that shines from within you. If you wish to seek only education, then you are following an intellectual path. If you allow the inner spiritual light to guide you, it will always want to return to its source. It attracts you to people that are like you. This is why when you start to develop your spirituality, you find more people that are like you. Your inner light is starting to search out those that are like you. And it feels right. It feels right to be with people that are like you. That compass is directing you to the right place. That compass is also called intuition, inner knowing. Now, who else has a question?
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
See, Christine has a question. Oh, how do I? Christine, do you have a question? Hang on, let me unmute it.
Who wants to sing a song? Maybe now is not the time for her. Does anyone else have a question, my friends?
Oh, yeah, who's that? Can't see. Is that Michelle? Is it Michelle? I can't see.
I'm sorry, I'm asking all the questions. Sorry. Also with the blending process, do spirits, when doing trance, do they tend to come to one side? Like I tend to have the spirits come to my right side. Is there a reason that they pick a certain side, or is it because of the auric field is different, or what? I mean, is that true, or?
Okay. So what is happening, my friend, is it is just your body's physical reaction to the presence of your guide's energy. In essence, we are connected to all of you at the same time. I'm connected to your toes, your ears, your legs, and your head. But you will feel us to a greater degree in one place. And so it may be that you feel us behind you or to one side. It is a reaction of your energy and their energy coming together, and we have this happening. And you suddenly think, oh, I feel something. I feel this reaction within my energy field, your aura. It is only your physical reaction. What matters is the loving presence of those that guide you. But do not fear, there is not a right or wrong. We are all in the same pool of energy at the same time. But it is a good question. Yeah.
And if you feel like, sometimes I feel heat in my heart, solar or my heart plexus, or heart chakra or whatever. And during it happens and sometimes it doesn't happen. Is that just, I mean, what is the mechanism going on in that case?
Now it is your reaction to those that work with you. I would hazard a guess that when you are connecting to particular guides, you will get particular awareness or sensations within your body, and knowing that you have a particular function to perform. Now it could also be how you are literally feeling as a human being today. Now as the energy blends with you, it is a fluctuating process. It is like saying, I look at the river some days and it flows very fast. Other days, it is gentle. It is still a river, but the energy flowing through it changes. And the same with you. Some days you are most sensitive, and some days you have a different task. It could be that today you are a healer, and tomorrow you are speaking words of wisdom. Your reaction will be different every time, to a degree. It is the nature of who we are and who you are. We are coming together, and there is a relationship, an up and a down, an in and an out, a hokey cokey. Yes? Does that make sense to you, my friend?
Yes, it does.
Good. Now, where are all the questions?
Leanne's got a question.
Okay.
Hello, it's not a question really. I just really want to take this chance to say thank you to you, Andrew and his team of guys, for all the love, support and help I've received so much over the past year or so. I just really wanted to take this opportunity to say that directly to you all. Thank you.
No, my friend, and we feel the connection that you make, and when you say it, we know you are saying it from your heart. Do not feel that when love is shared, it is not a two-way process. We know that life has been difficult for you, and there are many challenges that cause you to say, why should I bother? And you know we understand it. When you have a young family and you have many responsibilities, we understand that sometimes the spiritual journey is very tough. Sometimes you may need to walk away. You may need to take a break and then come back. But what guides you is the inner knowing that you are on a path that fulfills you. Not everyone wants to be a medium, but everyone wants to be happy. I would say that this is an eternal truth of who we are as humans. We seek to find happiness. When you do that, when you connect with those that vibrate at a similar vibration, it is not the right analogy. But when you find your own tribe, when you truly discover who you are, you will feel the love that is shared. You will understand that there is something about them that resonates with you. And it is the same with us. I know there are people here thinking, why does a particular guide work with me? The answer is, like attracts like. Do you see? We seek from you what you seek from us. So there has to be a symbiotic relationship. There has to be something about you that we love. And this is why we come to you. This is why we guide you. This is why we seek to influence you. But we will not walk your journey for you. The journey has to be walked by you and you alone. Do not mistake that as being that you are alone, but you must walk each step yourself. Otherwise, it is not your experience. We appreciate your words of kindness. Also be kind to yourself and understand that the fruits of the tree take time to ripen, but they will ripen. Understand that, my friend. Now it may be the springtime of your journey. But in the autumn, how ripe and juicy those fruits will be. Allow it to happen when it needs to, and it will.
Oh, hang on. No, June. You've got a hand up. You've got time for one more.
Yeah,
June?
yeah.
Thank you. As long as you have time, I don't want to.
We have all night, my friend.
Thank you. I have had a message in the last 24 hours that really disturbed me from the spirit world, from somebody that I've loved. And it was about his feeling of not having been good enough, not doing everything in his power. And although I have worked with this soul for quite a long time, to say, you know, that I love you and I forgive you, he's still coming forward with this. And is there any way that I can make life easier for him? I understand that he has to forgive himself, and I have said that, but is there any way that I can make life easier, his life easier for him now? And I mean the spirit life that he's living now.
Okay, so there is an issue with the relationship that you had. You have come to a point of forgiveness, but he has not yet forgiven himself. Am I
Yeah.
right in assuming
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Okay. The journey, once more, my friend, is his.
Yeah.
What you have done is you have given him the opportunity. You have given him your forgiveness, and you have said, I am at peace with what you did. And you may also be at peace. But do you see the contrition that he feels is personal to him? While you may have moved on, he may have a deep need within him that he feels that with greatest certainty that is possible to him. He needs to know that he is forgiven and he forgives himself. It is the guilt of what he did or didn't do that weighs him down like an anchor.
Yeah.
But you have cut the chain. It is up to him to drop the anchor and allow himself to be free of the guilt that he feels. But let me say, my friend, he is not the only one. There are many who walk around with the burden of their own realizations that maybe they were not a good person. Maybe they did not do the things that they wish they had have done. It weighs him down. It weighs us all down. This is why we call it life. It is an experience. It isn't always a good one. You have given him the opportunity. It is up to him to take it. It will be a gradual process, but he will come to that realization. From your perspective, you have said, I forgive you. And that is very loving and kind. But from his perspective, he needs to look at all of the reasons that he did what he did. And his karma could go back a long way. And he could have many reasons why he behaved in the way that he did. And he needs to unpick them. Unpick them all. There are links in this chain. You were just the end link that received that treatment. But there are many links that he needs to absolve him of before he has worked it out. So allow him to do it. It does not define who he is, but you are just one facet of his experience of life, and he wishes to make his amends.
Yes, I understand. Thank you.
Does that explain it?
Yes, it does actually. It confirms lots of things. Thank you.
You are
yeah.
welcome.
Thank you very much. Bless you. Thank you.
Sarah's got a question.
Okay. Good evening, my friend.
Sarah and Mark. They're still on mute. Unmute. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a bit of a random one, but recently I woke up to check on baby, and then I rolled over to get back to sleep. But then in the doorway, while I was still awake, I saw myself and someone beside me, but it was like ever so tall, but I couldn't see the face. I really, really wanted to ask them who they were, but I felt like really paralyzed that I couldn't move, couldn't ask. But I don't think it was sleep paralysis. I believe I was astral traveling, and I wanted to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah. You are composed of many bodies. It is quite exciting when you think about it. So you have this heavy, lumpy body that we call a physical form. But then you have the astral body. So you have this ability to travel in your sleep state. And if you are checking on the little one, I suspect that you are very much in an altered state of consciousness. So the physical body is going about its journey, and yet the astral body can also have a degree of independence. I should imagine that you were very tired at the time, and you are probably in a semi-sleep state. But also, what is happening? Do you not think that the loved ones that look out for you also look out for those that you love? That there is the presence of the spirit world with you, those that guide you, those that walk the journey with you. They are also part of your life experience. And when the time comes and you wish to share your understanding with people, and that time will come, they are there with you at this time. But it is a very interesting proposition. If you can spontaneously travel using your astral form, we know it is possible, but not many people have the awareness and the ability to observe themselves astrally. It is a form of traveling in the sleep state, usually. But I should imagine with the young ones that you have and you are looking after, that there is an ability of you to be in two states at once, to be aware of yourself physically, but also astrally. You know? Does that make sense to you?
It does, yeah.
Okay. Good question.
Thank you for answering that for me.
Yes. Okay. So now we have come to what will not be the end. It is a chapter in the journey that we have gone on together. Now we thank you sincerely for joining the boy, for coming to support him, for everything that you do to help him, for everything that you do to help yourselves and those that you work with. You cannot underestimate the degree of help that you are giving us. We are nothing without you. We are silent without your voice. Your loved ones are silent if you do not use the opportunity to communicate with them. Your audience, if you serve a church, has no one to speak if you do not stand there and give them a voice. The greatest lie is that you die. What you are doing is you are sharing a spiritual truth, that life is eternal, that you do not die, that you change form as the caterpillar understands that it becomes the butterfly. You are metamorphosizing from the world of the physical to the world of the spiritual, a changing of form. The energy, the consciousness cannot be destroyed. It can only change the way in which it expresses itself. Energy is fluid. Energy is forming and decaying, changing form. As you go on this journey, as you reflect upon all that you have seen and heard this evening, we do not ask you to accept it as a truth, unless it feels right to you. If it does not feel right, my friends, then you reject it. It is not your truth. If it feels right, then think about how you can implement it into your life. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with others. Seek to be the kindest, most loving person that you can. All of your riches
are left behind. What really matters is the person that you are in here. How loving can you be? None of you will ever run out of love. You may think of reasons not to be loving, but even your greatest enemy will respond positively to love. Their soul wants to be loved, even if their personality is fighting to reject it. Love is who you are. You may have spent your whole life learning how not to love, how to reject love, to be afraid of love. Do yourself a favor. Bring love into your heart and into your life in every way that you can. Express your soul through your words, through your wisdom, through painting, through singing. Be a good doctor. Be a wonderful nurse. Be a great mother. Be whatever makes your heart sing. Allow your heart to sing a song that resonates with you so deeply that you feel the purest love that you can imagine. Live every day with positivity within you. A negative word starts within you as a negative thought. Don't pollute your body with negativity. Seek one thing in your life that you love and fill your entire being with it. Your life is finite. One day you will join us. Don't look back on your life with great regrets. Look upon it as the learning experience that it is. And with these words, we leave you. May the power and the presence and the love of the Great Spirit walk among you. May he be in every word that you speak and every deed that you carry out. May love fill your heart and overflow. And may you swim within the presence of love with everything that you do. And we leave this blessing with you, my friends. And we thank this girl. You have done a good job. And we look forward to many more times. God bless you all.
Don't do that. You want to ask a question? Seriously, literally. Do that.
She's snoring.
She's asleep.
Well, she can be asleep. Whew. Oh my goodness. Sorry? I don't know what happened there. Someone just speak.
I think so. Don't know.
Oh my goodness. God, I look red. What's going on? It's like a bloody sauna. I feel like I'm sweating.
Thank you, Andrew. That was really, really amazing. I loved all of it.
Who said that? Sorry, I've lost you.
It's Leanne.
Where are you? I can't see. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, you're at the top. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't see you.
My
Oh.
phone's playing up, so but I just want to
Okay.
say thank you. That was
You are
great.
more than
Loved
welcome,
all of
Leah.
it.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome. Any observations anyone wants to make? What you saw or felt? Or just want to say, I need to get away and watch the recording of Strictly?
I think all through is 10 times clearer. It's just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's his voice, his tone, everything is just so much clearer. You know, you don't even, you can just recognise him instantly. Well, for me anyway, his whole voice, that's just everything just seems, from say 6 months ago, it's just like, wow, you know it's him, and it's like it was really at the forefront today as well, which is nice.
Bless her. Is that Maggie?
The loud ginger one, yeah. I've got to give her some props.
Bless her. Hello, Maggie. Oh, bless her heart. Does anyone else want to share?
Yeah, I could really feel the energy and the love. And when you answered a question about children, I was actually, the tears just couldn't stop. It felt so much in tune in how I've been feeling about what kids have to go through these days.
Yeah, I could really feel it. Really resonated with them. That felt quite. Some questions feel different. Their reaction, as I feel their reaction to your question, there's a real sense of importance in how they felt about that. That felt really important. That was quite an interesting observation from my perspective, because I really felt that. I really felt how it meant a lot to them.
It's a good question as well.
Yeah. Anyone else got anything you want to mention before I let you just disappear?
Yeah, there was quite a few questions were answered this evening. Even when other people asked a question, the answers were also resonated with me, if you understand. And it was like I was getting the answers to the question I was already asked prior.
Right.
Yeah. So very good. Yeah. Interesting.
Good.
And it doesn't matter, people think, oh, it's a silly question, but it's not really.
No such thing as a silly question, because it means something to you. It needs to be answered, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Anyone else want to share an observation?
I felt the same as Kevin there, where some other questions were being answered. That was Kaylee's question. She couldn't get on as she was looking after Harley. You needed her, but she really wanted to join, so she sent me that question.
Yeah.
And there was some questions that you answered at the end of that, as you answered about the children as well. But I felt that love and resonance about being a mum, and bits part about my journey. So I felt the emotion and felt the love, which was really nice.
Good. Okay. So, any other observations before I let you go?
Well done, Andy. I think it was a lovely evening. Thank you so much for your hard work. It was lovely. Such a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, massive thanks to Lisa as well for being the host and the mostess. Bless her. I'll probably keep it full time now. Yeah.
Thank you for giving your time.
You love you.
Oh,
there
there you
she
go.
is.
That's it. There you go. Bless her. I would be only half. I'd be less than half the man with that, Lisa. Bless her. Okay, Velda. Thank you, Lisa and Andy and his guys. Have an appointment. Must leave. No, thanks, Velda. Okay. Oh no, Mark and Sarah just said the question there. So look, thank you so much for supporting me, and it means a lot. We've had a really great year of the various circles that we're in, and some of you are repeat offenders, which I find fascinating. So you're still not sick of me yet, but which is great. So I will see a fair few of you tomorrow morning for 3 hours, and a fair few of you tomorrow night for another 3 hours. And then a fair few of you probably over the course of the next couple of 3 weeks. So thank you for embracing my weirdness. Mum and Dad, if you stay online, if you would, just so I can just have a chat to you afterwards. And but everyone else, thank you so much for embracing my weirdness. And I will put a recording to you guys. I don't know, I'm not sure. I might put it on my Facebook page, I might not. I've not decided how I feel about it yet, because it's personal to us, and I might just say sod everyone else. Well, actually, I've now said that and recorded it, so I'll have to delete that bit. So we'll see. So I don't know. I'm not sure yet.